I knew I didn't belong at that party the moment I stepped into the extravagant hotel ballroom. The air buzzed with laughter, the clinking of champagne glasses, and the effortless confidence of people who fit right in. My wife, Emily, was one of them. I wasn't. Tugging at the stiff collar of my dress shirt, I scanned the room for her, and then I saw her across the room, standing close, too close, to him. Kevin, tall, self-assured, the kind of man who walked into a room like he owned it. The kind of man I caught sending my wife flirtatious messages at midnight 6 months ago. The kind of man she swore meant nothing. And yet, here we were. Emily laughed at something he said, her hand resting lightly on his forearm. My jaw tightened. I wanted to leave, but I refused to give them the satisfaction. So instead, I grabbed a drink from a passing waiter and did my best to disappear into the background. It didn't last long. Hey, everyone. Kevin's voice rang out, loud and confident, cutting through the chatter. Conversations paused, heads turned. He was grinning at me. We have a special guest tonight, he announced. Emily's husband. He lifted his glass, his smirk widening. Man, I gotta say, it's so nice to finally meet the guy she used to talk about all the time. A few chuckles rippled through the crowd. My stomach twisted. Used to? Kevin leaned in slightly. She used to say you were the love of her life. He took a slow sip of his drink, eyes gleaming. Guess that changed, huh? More laughter. A few gasps. Emily stiffened beside him, her gaze darting around the room, but she said nothing. I forced a tight smile. Funny, I said evenly. I don't remember you being in our marriage. A few people chuckled at that. Kevin's grin faltered, but only for a second. Hey, don't take it personally, he said, stepping closer. It happens. Some people just upgrade. The implication was clear. Laughter again, but now it was uneasy. Some glanced away, shifting uncomfortably. I should have walked away. Should have left that godforsaken ballroom and never looked back. But before I could respond, another voice cut through the tension. Low, calm, amused. Kevin. The room went still. An older man in a crisp navy suit stood nearby, swirling the whiskey in his glass. The CO, Kevin's boss. His expression was unreadable, but there was a sharp glint in his eyes, something Kevin didn't like. I think, the CEO continued, his voice smooth, this might be a good time to talk about your termination notice. Silence. Kevin blinked, then let out a forced, too loud laugh. Ah, good one, sir. The CEO sipped his drink. Who said I was joking? The color drained from Kevin's face. Around us, whispers spread like wildfire. I don't, Kevin stammered. Turns out HR has a very different view of your extracurricular activities. The CEO's voice was almost bored, but his words sliced through Kevin like a blade. Harassment claims. Multiple. You've been under investigation for weeks, the CEO continued. Kevin swallowed hard. Sir, You were going to find out on Monday. The CEO set his glass down on a nearby table. But after tonight, I think we'll make it official now. The silence was suffocating. Kevin opened his mouth, but no words came out. And then, clapping. Slow. Deliberate. It took me a moment to realize I was the one doing it. Kevin's gaze snapped to mine, burning with rage, but he was powerless. I leaned in slightly. Guess some people just downgrade. For the first time that night, Kevin had nothing to say. The party carried on. People avoided him like he was radioactive, whispering behind their hands. Emily stood frozen, looking like she wanted to disappear. I should have felt victorious, should have felt justice, but I didn't, because as much as I despised Kevin, as much as I relished seeing him fall, he wasn't the only one who had betrayed me. Emily reached for my arm. Daniel, I stepped back. Save it. My voice was steady, quiet, final. Her eyes filled with something, regret maybe, or just fear, not of losing me, but of what it meant for her if I walked away. And I was walking away, out of that ballroom, into the cold night air. And for the first time in months, I could breathe. Kevin lost his job that night. Emily lost me. And I got myself back.